What we want to do is to establish some principles and ideas for people when selecting software for their organisations for the NDIS. So can you kick us off by giving us 5 key principles that people should keep in mind when selecting software?
Yeah, sure. Firstly, they need to have a CRM, a client relationship management system, that has built into a claim payment method so that you can upload a file to the NDIS to make sure you get paid effectively with the NDIS. Secondly, they need to think seriously about a cloud-based client relationship management data system, because disability agencies are doing lots of things often over lots of different locations, at home visiting in their own facilities. Having data in real time that's capturing all the possible data as close as possible to the point of service delivery allows that in a cloud-based model, and also there's savings to be made in using cloud-based systems from a server perspective. It's also very important that the software provider you choose has a history of involvement with the NDIS and is working with the NDIS long term, because lots of things will change about data collection for the NDIS. So having a software provider that's made an investment to follow the NDIS carefully is going to be important. A fourth important thing is to, whenever you choose any sort of software provider, NDIS otherwise, is to check the referees of those that they'll provide you. They should provide you with at least 2 or 3 of their existing customers, preferably customers that have worked in the NDIS, and check those referees for your own satisfaction. And the final point I'd make is ask every software provider you talk to what their implementation rate is. This is the rate at which a provider delivers on a particular product. If their implementation rate is 50%, that tells you that 50% of the time that they offer to build or sign to build a data system, they do, and 50% of the time that they don't. So obviously you're looking at an implementation rate as high as possible with every software provider that you talk to.
So you've got some extensive background in this area. What 3 key lessons have you learned about implementing software in organisations?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is the issue between having a client relationship management system over the demands of rostering. The old world has been rostering. Rostering is still in the new world, very much so, but client data management has been based around rostering staff, because the payment model has been around working with staff and tracking your hours and your efficiencies, because you're being paid on a grant basis. Under the NDIS, when it's individualised funding, you need a very good client relationship management system that can track the journey of a client across multiple services, so you can track their funding, be it government funding or otherwise. So the shift of emphasis is more towards the client management system, and rostering is secondary, rather than the other way around, which has been in the past for disability agencies. Yep. The second point I'd make is that within the disability sector there's great diversity of service delivery, and there's great diversity in business models. So you need a very individualised CRM that's going to reflect your business model and reflect the diversity of what you do as an organisation, while still giving you the basics in terms of an NDIS claim payment system and rostering functions that you may need. And the final point I think I'd make about a key lesson is really about the shift that we've had in terms and its implications for data collection. In the past, it was essentially about self-reporting on a grant and being paid in advance for that grant, by and large. We're moving to a world now where you have to have evidence-based reporting, and it's individualised funding, and you're getting paid in arrears. So any data that you lose, the risk is shifted to the NGO. In the past, the risk has been on the funder. The risk is now with the NGO, with individualised funding, getting paid in arrears and getting evidence-based funding.
That's great. One message you'd like to leave our audience?
The final message I'd say is make sure you get paid what the work that you've done. Make sure that you've got a CRM that's got the capacity to upload a file to the NDIS, and make sure you've got a data management model that works really nicely with your CRM to ensure that the workflow for staff is really efficient and you don't lose any data. Any data that you lose in the new world is lost income. So if you're doing 10,000 data pieces of service in a year and you lose 5% of that information, that's 5% of income that you're going to lose if you haven't got an effective model.